Down. All right, good afternoon, I should say, everybody. Thank you for joining us for this edition of Valley News Now here at our digital desk at Valley News Live. Another week on Tuesday means that it's once again time to showcase a feature from our Investigate TV program, which airs on our great television networks across the country, including here on Valley News Live. So if you missed this one on TV, we've got it here for you on our digital platforms, and you can watch these as they become available. This is one of the newest episodes that they've given us, actually. It aired yesterday, September 8th. Now, this is digging into a very sensitive subject for a lot of people. Decades after the end of the Vietnam War, some military veterans are in a fight that extends well beyond the battlefield. Investigate TV is digging deeper into hundreds of claims of a highly toxic herbicide that's slowly killing veterans. They uncover a connection that may help those trying to secure benefits. They also examine a growing mental health crisis in the construction industry and hear from a contractor compelled to find a solution for those who are struggling. We're going to play all of that for you right now. Be sure to stay tuned right here to our digital networks of Valley News Now. We'll be right back on the desk as soon as this wraps up.
Decades after coming home, countless Vietnam-era veterans fight a complex battle on multiple fronts.
All those hoops that they make them jump through, it takes forever.
We dig deeper into hundreds of claims that a highly toxic herbicide is wreaking havoc on vets and uncover a connection that may help those trying to get special benefits.
Then a work hazard.
He was the life of the party. He was very good at his job.
Construction workers often project a strong, no-nonsense exterior, but inside some hide a painful struggle. We examine what many call a growing mental health crisis in the industry. Plus,
it's time to start talking about it, and it's time to start helping each other.
We hear from a contractor compelled to fight the stigma surrounding mental health and find solutions for those struggling.
And
what do you think keeps you young?
I'm not young. I look like a prune.
By prune, we're pretty sure she means cut. We introduce you to a World War II survivor inspired to challenge herself.
Push it away, push it away, push it away.
And others.
In-depth stories that inform and inspire. You're watching Investigate TV Plus.
50 years after the end of the Vietnam War, some military veterans are in a fight that extends well beyond the battlefield. I'm Tisha Pell.
And I'm Lee Zurich. They're trying to prove they're sick from exposure to a toxic chemical while they served. Agent Orange is an herbicide used by the U.S. military during the Vietnam War. According to a report published by the National Institutes of Health, at least 11 million gallons were sprayed during a military project called Operation Ranch Hand. But some veterans say the effects of Agent Orange extend beyond that mission, and exposure can be tough to prove, even when attorneys argue there's plenty of evidence.
Reporter Kristen Crowley investigates why and speaks with those who say shining a light on the issue could bring change.
This small home in a small Kansas town has seen better days.
It needs a new roof. Front porch has a sagging threshold on the first step there, driveway maintenance.
You can't afford any of that right now.
Can't afford any of it.
Art Gentry also can't do the work himself because much like his home,
This is what I call my branch pharmacy.
his health has seen better days.
And then lisinopril is for hyper.
A stack of medicine
9 of them a day.
for a list of health issues.
Myasthenia gravis was the first big one that hit me really hard. I also have hypertension and tinnitus, and I had skin cancer across my forehead, type 2 diabetes, and prostate cancer.
Those last two are important. Now, some might chalk them up to Art's age. He's 77. But Art says there is another explanation. Art is a Vietnam War veteran. During that war, the United States government deployed a tactical weapon never before used, an herbicide called Agent Orange. Its purpose was to kill plants and eliminate hiding spots for enemy troops, a concoction not just deadly to plants, but devastating to humans. Vietnam veterans exposed have developed multiple myeloma, Parkinson's, hypothyroidism, and a list of other health issues, including type 2 diabetes and prostate cancer. More than 8 million Americans served in the Vietnam War. It's unknown how many were exposed to Agent Orange, but Art is convinced he's one of them.
In my young days, I was an avid swimmer.
So you were in those swimming beaches a lot?
7 different times before I got told I was in a restricted area that was not posted.
He's talking about the beaches in Subic Bay, Philippines. He was stationed there in 1971 during the war.
Why do you think that area was restricted?
Because it was near the Agent Orange storage facility that was actually leaking down a ramp into the water there.
Veterans are entitled to special benefits, in addition to their regular VA benefits, if they have an illness connected to Agent Orange exposure during their service. For Art,
Diabetes and weight control.
those benefits could be thousands of dollars a month, money that could help fix his crumbling home and support him as he gets sicker.
Baby aspirin once a day.
So he filed a claim with the VA, and he got denied.
Simply because they said, well, I was not in an Agent Orange hotspot.
The term the government uses is a presumptive exposure location. In order for veterans to get those benefits, they have to have served in these specific areas, including Vietnam and parts of Thailand, where the government acknowledges Agent Orange was used or stored. Subic Bay, Philippines is not on the list. Art knew that, but he was certain he'd qualify anyway because of this. A case involving two Marines, also not in a presumptive exposure location, who said they were exposed to Agent Orange. The VA initially denied their claim in 2002, but attorneys for the Marines laid out a list of evidence, like news reports saying the chemical was shipped to the Marines' base, a document with directions on handling herbicides in the area, and statements from veterans saying they saw the Agent Orange barrels. With this, 10 years later, the VA granted their benefits. The location the Marines say they were exposed? Subic Bay. So why was their claim approved and Art's denied? We reached out to the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs about this. They did not grant an on-camera interview, but told us it makes these decisions on a case-by-case basis. Even though the Marines were able to prove Agent Orange exposure in Subic Bay, the VA stance? Agent Orange was not used, transported, stored, or tested in Subic Bay.
Was Agent Orange used or present in more areas than the federal government will admit?
Yes, certainly.
Dan Curry is an attorney who handles veteran disability compensation claims. He says veterans get automatic approval only in those presumptive areas. The rest have to fight.
You have some veterans getting it and others not, and there's not a real rhyme or reason to it anymore, when it's like it almost seems random.
We wanted to know how random, so we asked the VA if it tracks how many veterans claim they were exposed to Agent Orange in areas outside of presumptive exposure locations. It doesn't. So we tracked it ourselves. We sifted through the Department of Veterans Affairs online database that shows veterans filing claims saying they have cancers, skin conditions, diabetes that they attribute to Agent Orange exposure. We found more than 500 claims where they all served in Subic Bay.
How is that not enough for the government to say, maybe we need to take a look at this area?
It should be enough.
As we dug deeper into the numbers, it was clear most of these veterans aren't getting approved for benefits. About a quarter were remanded, meaning the VA says the veteran's case needs more information. More than half denied. The most common reason? Because they didn't set foot in Vietnam or the other presumptive exposure areas. We asked the VA and the Department of Defense if they were considering adding Subic Bay to its list as a result of the data we uncovered. The VA says that's up to the DoD. The DoD would not comment.
There's a lot of veterans that will say they're just going to make me wait and fight until I'm dead, and then they don't have to pay me.
How long have you been fighting to get your benefits?
Since 2019.
Despite the denials and the uphill battle, Art continues trying to build his case. He now has a signed letter from another veteran who served in Subic Bay.
This is to affirm that Agent Orange was shipped into and out of Subic Bay, Philippines, and was witnessed by me during the time.
And this note from his doctor.
Agent Orange has been shown to be a causative agent of prostate cancer.
The only thing left to do now is hope.
What is your prognosis?
If it starts to grow and get worse, then I might have to go in for radiation therapy. So that's what I hope is a long way off.
So you're fighting against a clock.
Yeah.
And you don't know how much time is left in that clock.
That's right.
A veteran's fight in a battle he has no idea if he'll win.
We reached out to the Florida law firm that won the case for those 2 Marines, and it says it has 9 more clients who allege Agent Orange exposure in Subic Bay. They've been fighting for benefits for between 3 and 34 years. The VA and the DoD are not the only ones that can designate a new presumptive area of exposure. Congress can also step in. We reached out to every single member on the Congressional Committee for Veterans Affairs. None of them agreed to an on-camera interview.
The DoD has specific criteria it requires for proof tactical herbicides like Agent Orange were used in an area.
Things like shipping logs, pictures with dates and locations, and scientific reports. Curry says because of the decades that have passed, many of those documents are impossible for veterans to track down.
Still ahead, a hard hat and tough guy exterior sometimes hide a deep pain.
He never showed his struggle. Everything was always good. I think he just hit it.
A veteran contractor shares his brother's silent battle and explains how he transformed a painful lesson into a blueprint for change.
You can watch Investigate TV Plus anytime online. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel at Investigate TV. You can catch stories and full episodes.
Some careers carry a heavy burden, like a first responder or doctors and nurses working in an emergency room or hospital. But studies have found one job takes an even bigger toll on a worker's mental health. For years, safety experts focused on the physical dangers of construction work, but researchers found the job can also impact a worker's mental health.
The CDC reports construction has one of the highest suicide rates compared to other industries. In addition, another study found almost half of construction workers have experienced symptoms of anxiety and depression, but fewer than 5% reported getting help.
Reporter Pete Ferryman shares how a veteran contractor used a personal loss to remove stigmas and reach out to those who may wrestle with their mental health. And we want to warn you, this story mentions suicide.
It's physically demanding work with workers in great demand. And while safety first is an industry motto, the greatest risk to their safety is not workplace accidents. In fact, it's not even close. It's suicide. Recent numbers show construction workers are 6 times more likely to lose their lives to suicide than any danger they may encounter on the job site. They show that thousands die from suicide every year, and the construction industry has the second highest suicide rate of any industry, second only to coal mining and working on an oil rig. Construction industry veteran Dave Garski knows the terrible risk all too well.
You can't run away from it. You can try to hide it. You can try to tuck it away in a convenient little corner, but it's always there.
Dave and his brother Greg Garski worked together in the industry for decades.
He was larger than life. He was a funny guy. He was the life of the party. He was very good at his job.
Despite his happy exterior, Greg secretly struggled with mental health issues. Isolated in an industry known for its exhausting work and tough guy culture, where climbing a high rise is much easier than sharing your feelings. Sadly, in 2022, Greg's hidden struggle became too much.
But yeah, I mean, the pain never goes away. We lost Greg 3 years ago to suicide. And you live it every day. And you ask yourself, is there something we could have done? I know I have coworkers that ask themselves if there was something that they could have done or something that they missed, and I'm not sure there is.
The loss devastated the family, leaving too many unanswered questions.
He was just a great person. And I think that's what made it hard is I never saw the pain. He never showed it. He never showed his struggle. Everything was always good. I think he just hid it because obviously he was struggling.
Rather than hide their overwhelming grief, Dave and his family decided to share it openly, despite the stigma surrounding suicide.
And our answer was, we're going to talk about it. We're going to put it right out in the open. We're going to try to understand it. We're going to share our feelings. We're going to be vulnerable.
Dave now works with organizations like Lines for Life to support the Construction Suicide Prevention Partnership, encouraging frontline workers to rethink concepts that once seemed incompatible, like vulnerability and toughness.
It's changed me a lot. Changed my family a lot. Rely on my faith a lot. But I chose early on to push this forward and not hide from it.
The Caroline is part of the Construction Suicide Prevention Partnership.
Other potential solutions include a program called Toolbox Talks, where workers start the day warming up the mind and body, and dedicated rooms at construction sites where workers can escape the daily pressure with no questions asked and easily find resources.
Meanwhile, there are resources for anyone who needs immediate help. You can text, call, or chat the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline at 988 for support. It's free and available 24 hours, 7 days a week. Still ahead, no soil, no sun, no problem. We give you insight into a high-tech solution bringing farming to urban areas.
Then later, aging stronger.
You've got guns. I mean, your guns are way better than mine.
Well, do something about it.
We show you how this nearly 90-year-old woman inspires strength. Our in-depth coverage continues. You can get connected to Investigate TV Plus on all social media platforms. When you think of farming, what comes to mind? Maybe a farmer planting crops in acres of open fields, using the sun's power, rain, and a vast irrigation system to grow food? While this type of farming is rooted in tradition, it's a challenge for cities lacking land.
Another form of agriculture known as vertical farming may provide a solution for urban areas where traditional farming is not ideal. Vertical farming takes place inside and involves greens grown in special trays stacked from the floor to the ceiling. LED lights replace the sun. The process often uses no soil and less water than traditional farming. Plus, these farmers don't have to worry about bugs hurting the crops. Reporter Steven Sarabia shows us how a company in Phoenix sows the seeds for smarter farming.
Robots are planting the way for the future of farming, and it's all being done inside a Phoenix warehouse.
The big problem that we are solving really is the locality of produce. So right now, produce is typically shipped across country. Here, we can have production right next to distribution.
Sam Bertram with 1.1 showed us around the robot-operated farm. It's all done inside in this giant cube, instead of being outside in the dirt.
We have arugula microgreens, we have a baby mizuna, which is an Asian green, super nutritious stuff. We've got a baby kale next door. This is a beet green.
This setup, they are able to replicate the ideal growing environment for each plant, away from the harsh elements outside. No sun, no problem here.
The red LED light is a very specific wavelength at high efficiency to activate a photosynthetic pathway inside of the plants.
Robots monitor the plant's growth, giving them what they need when they need it, even harvesting them once they're ready. Right now, this farm sends its harvest to Whole Foods grocery stores across Phoenix. This setup was built in partnership with the robotics company AutoStore, which, to put it simply, repurposed warehouse robots that monitor projects and storage to be farmers.
We've always seen how our system could be used to solve many different problems. It's very versatile in that sense. And so we're excited to see how it could work in agriculture.
Bertram says the goal is to have farms like this set up close to grocery stores as a way to get veggies to people faster than it takes to ship them across the country from traditional farms.
Getting a vertical farm up and running can be expensive. It requires specialized equipment including hydroponic systems and grow lights. And because of the grow lights, it can be an energy-intensive process. Also, vertical farmers typically can only grow a limited number of crops like leafy greens, herbs, and fruiting vegetables like tomatoes.
Up next, when you crack away her tough exterior,
Come on higher, let me see your kneecaps, please.
you'll find the heart of a survivor.
Get up and say thank you, dear God. Every day, thank God for the day.
An octogenarian uses fitness to tackle life's challenges.
You can watch Investigate TV Plus anytime streaming online. Get the app for Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and Apple TV. It's free to download. A World War II survivor has covered a lot of miles in her more than 85 years of life. Her journey includes moving to the United States, raising a family, competitive running, and teaching aqua fitness.
Reporter Deborah Alfarone shows us what inspires her to go the distance.
Up, out, in, crossover.
Ekris Williams is what you would call a tough cookie.
Come on higher, let me see your kneecaps, please.
The 86-year-old teaches water aerobics every Tuesday and Thursday.
Kick, kick, kick.
No matter what.
Push it away, push it away, push it away.
But it's not all she does.
Sideways, bring it up and push. Sundays I take a longer run now, maybe 5 or 6 miles. Mondays I go run in the pool. Tuesdays 4 workouts, then I come and lift weights. And then on Wednesdays I go running. On Thursdays is a repeat of Tuesday. And flip!
But her fitness journey started with running. Ekris survived World War II. Her parents didn't. A former German Olympian inspired her to put one foot in front of the other. She's been doing it ever since. She did stop long enough to meet her husband, move to the U.S., and raise her children. You may think her good health is just luck.
What is it that keeps you going?
Well, I have to exercise. I have to keep the cardio up. I have a congenital heart defect. I was a preemie. My mother kicked me out and never finished me. The doctors always said, keep going. So I said, okay.
The CDC says working out after age 65 can reduce the risk of developing dementia, heart disease, certain types of cancers, and stroke. It's what brings Ekris' students to her class at World Gate Athletic Club.
Good core work. Helps my knees.
What's your advice to people who say, well, I don't know, my arm hurts, or I don't know, my knee hurts?
Mind over matter, it could be worse. I have seen too much destruction. I have seen too much misery. Don't lie down and say, oh, what's going to happen? Get up and say, thank you, dear God. Every day, thank God for the day.
Lots of studies say exercise keeps your mind sharp. For Ekris, it might help keep her wit sharp, too.
What do you think keeps you young?
I'm not young. I look like a prune. I ran past the window at the Giant and I looked, I thought there was somebody behind me. It was my skin flopping.
You've got guns. I mean, your guns are way better than mine.
Well, do something about it.
She admits she's tough, but her students like it.
And lunge it.
Deborah, the reporter there, brave, leaving that part in the story where she kind of called her out about her guns.
Yeah, she was just, so open about everything with every moment of her life, when she was born, when she got older. So Deborah should have known, she set herself up for that.
Set herself up, no doubt about that. Funny story.
Well, that's it for us on Investigate TV Plus. I'm Tisha Pell.
And I'm Lee Zurich. Thanks for watching.
All right, that's going to about do it for this week's edition of Investigate TV Spotlight. Be sure to stay tuned for more of these episodes as they air on our networks across Gray Television. And we're going to keep bringing you the best of the best right here on our digital desk. But for now, for Valley News Now, I'm Devin Fry.